Hey there friends, it's Amanda here from Fun Hands-On Learning. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to teach math warm-ups, or how I teach math warm-ups. What are math warm-ups? Well, they are basically an introduction to your math lesson. When I was an elementary school teacher, I always did warm-ups to get my children's minds ready for the day. We would review skills that we already knew to get them ready to be thinking mathematically. Well, I still do that as a homeschool mom, and we have just different math warm-ups that we like to do, and it gets us thinking. We use a lot of flashcards. There's different things that we do to warm up our minds and get them ready for the math lesson, okay? So if you are excited to learn what do I do to warm up my students for our math lesson, then stick with this video and I'm going to share some of those activities and ideas with you. All right, let's get started here. One of the very first things that we usually do are our math flashcards. So this is our concept card set. It's a new set that I made for this school year. You can get this set off my website. I will leave a link below to funhandsonlearning.com and specifically to this set of cards. They come in a bundle of math activities. You can get them separately or you can get them in the bundle. And the bundle is called Math Fun for Pre-K and Kindergarten. And in here I have just a multitude of cards. Actually, these cards right here don't come in the bundle, but I will show them to you. These cards here are a set of tap the dot or touch point math cards, and I will leave a link below to these as well. So this is just a general set of touch point math cards, and then this is the set that I pulled out for September, okay, for the beginning of the school year with the apples on it. And then it has a handful of other cards. Now what we do is I will flash these cards. So let's say we're working, I want to get their mind thinking about fractions today, okay? So I will take out the fraction cards and I will hold it up and they will say 1/4, 1/5, 1/2, 1/3, and so on, okay? So they will say what the fraction is. All right, so that's what we would do with those, and we just go through them really quickly to get their mind thinking. Then I'll take out another set of cards. Let's say I take out these cards. Now I will mix them up. These are the 10 and 20 frame cards. So what I would do is I would mix them up, hold them up, and they would say 9, 10, 11, 13, 17. You get the idea. I would just flash them and they would say the number, okay? Now sometimes if I'm doing it with, like, let's say I usually do this with 4 or 5 of my kids, so I'll call out a name. I'll say like Mark, and then he'll have to say 2, and Seth 3, Peter 5, and that, you know, so you get the idea. So if you have a classroom of students, that's a great way to do it, especially for those students that aren't paying attention. It keeps them on their toes because they never know if they're going to be called, okay? So we do those. And I switch it up. So some days we do some cards and some days we do other cards. So I might give I'll like put these cards on the table. These are the, sign cards. And if I want to do comparing numbers that day, I might hold up a number and then have them hold up the card. So is it greater than or less than? Okay, so we might do that. I have the shape cards. Now for the shape cards, depending on what we want to practice, so we don't do all the cards every day, but I pick a few cards to practice. So let's say today is the day I wanted to practice some geometry skills. I might hold these cards up and have them just say the names, if that's what I'm going for. So they might say triangle, flip, circle, rectangle. You get the idea. Or we might practice sides. So they might say 6, 5, and I also might have them say the name. So they would say like pentagon, 5, square, 4, rhombus, 4, and so on, okay? All right, so we might do those. Now, here's some cards that are kind of fun for, say, kindergarten, well, late kindergarten, first grade kids are I like to use these cards with. These are, I'm trying to hold it out so you don't get such a glare, but these cards are the place value cards. So these are 10s and these are 1s. So they would have to say, you know, I would flash the card up and I might call on somebody and they have to tell me the number. I might say James and he'd have to say 25. And then I call on somebody else and they'd have to say 33. And whatever the number is represented on the card, that's what they would, you know, have to tell me what the number is. All right, so then another fun one are our number cards. I do flash these up and they have to say the name, especially with my preschoolers. So I'll do this and they'll have to say 20, 38, 66, 83. They love that. But also these cards can be used for so many different warm-up activities. Let me just kind of show you one right now. All right, so one of the things I really like to do quickly with these cards is I'll put a card up and they'll have to tell me the 10s and the 1s. So I'll say, what number is in the 10s place? And they'll say 3. And what does it represent? 30. What number's in the 1s place? 5. What does it represent? 5 1s, right? I can also, if I want to go a little bit farther. Now, I don't really want to go into a lesson because I'm just doing a warm-up, right, before whatever our math lesson is. But sometimes I'll change it up and I'll give the kids some of these blocks. If, let's say, the unit that we're working on for that month is on place value, our warm-up for that day might be a number card. So I'll put a number card up. So let's just pick one that might be easy for me to do. I'll put a number card up. So this is 51. So then I might have them quickly make in front of them 51. So this would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 51. And I'd have them quickly make 51 with their blocks. Now, if your students can't do it quickly, that might not be an activity that we would do as a warm-up, but my students, my older ones, definitely can, or we could do it together quickly as a warm-up. So then we'd pick another number and we would try it. So let's make the number 5 if I'm working with young kids. So they would have to count out 5 blocks real quick. Okay. And so using these number cards is a great way to just have them really quickly show you if they are understanding number value. Then another thing you can have them do to see if they're really quickly understanding number value is you can put 3 cards out. So let's give the kids 3 cards, okay? And then tell them, all right, I want you to make the number 56. So they would have to take the 5 and the 6 and make it like that. Okay, put them back. Now you're going to make the number 865. So they'd have to move their cards around and make the number. Okay, so just another quick place value warm up to get their minds thinking about place value before you do whatever it is that the lesson is if you're working on, say, the place value unit, right? Okay, another thing you can do is, let's say you're working on a fraction unit. So let me grab the fraction cards. Okay, so here are my fraction cards. We're working on a fraction unit, and I might put a card out, and then they have to use their number chart here to build the fraction. So they know in their mind that this is 1/5, but they're going to use their numbers here to build 1/5. So I just built my fraction 1/5. Now, if I was doing this on top of a little whiteboard, they can use a dry erase marker and they could draw a line right here to make 1/5. Okay, another warm-up you could do is you could pair up the number value cards with the actual number cards, right? And you could have them quickly match it up. So here is a value card. We have 7, and then they have to find the number 7 card and match it up. So that would be for a very young student, or you could have them add. So let's say you gave them 2 cards. So you gave them 7 and 6. What does 7 and 6 make? Well, 7 plus 6, if you say you're working on addition and you want to do quick addition warm-up, 7 and 6 makes 13. So then you would have them find the 13 card quickly. Okay, so see how these cards can just quickly be made into a fun little game or a fun little warm-up to get their mind, you know, kind of thinking about math. I also really like, say your students did do this activity, I like the 10 frames because they can quickly see, here's 5 and 5, that's 10, and then there's 2 here and 1 here, that's 3. So I have 10, 1 10, and 3 1s. All right, another thing we do besides flashcards is we also do a lot with our charts. Okay, these are the math charts from my Early Learners math curriculum. You don't have to have these charts, but if you do, these are what we use. And I have them here in a little book stand because that's what I put them on because I'm just a homeschool mom. But if you had a classroom, of course, you would probably want to put them up on the board ledge, or I used to take magnets and I would clip them to the board, you know, that way. But these are our charts, and these are just counting charts. I'm going to skip over and go to one of the charts, say this one. I'm going to go to this chart. This is on comparing numbers. And what I would do is if we are working on the unit on comparing numbers for that month, say, I would pull this chart out during our warm-up time, and I would have the children repeat after me. Greater than, less than, equal to. Greater than, and I'd have them do their hand like this. Greater than, less than, equal to. And then we used to do 2 figures together. Equal to. All right. So you have to have them see the signs, say the signs, and repeat after you, and it's kind of like a memory practice. So each and every day they're doing that, so they're remembering what the signs look like, and they're saying them. So repeating, you know, what you want to teach them is a great warm-up. All right, so another skill might be, let's say you're working on the unit numbers to 100. That's one of the units in my math curriculum, but you don't have to have this curriculum. Just say you're working on place value, okay? You could use these charts as place value, and you could say, all right, today we're going to count the 20 family. Let's go. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. The 20 family. What family comes next? And they would say 30. Right, the 30 family. Let's go. Let's count. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. What family comes next? The 40 family. All right, let's count. Let's go. And this is literally how fast I do it. And we'll say 40 family. Let's count. 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. You get the idea. So we would count up through our different families. Let's say we're working on... Hold on, I'm going to get to the 100 chart here in a minute. This is our 100 chart. But let's say we're working on addition. Well, each day we would probably add to our addition families. So we would say, let's do our 1 addition family. 0 plus 1 equals 1. And they're repeating after you. So then they would say, 0 plus 1 equals 1. 1 plus 0 equals 1. 1 plus 0 equals 1. All right, and then we would do our 2 addition family. Let's go. 0 plus 2 equals 2. 1 plus 1 equals 2. And 2 plus 0 equals 2. That's the 2 addition family. Let's go. Let's do our 3 addition family. And then they would repeat after you. Here we go. 0 plus 3 equals 3. Then they would say 0 plus 3 equals 3. You're getting the idea. And then they would repeat after you again. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 2 plus 1. And you get the idea. You're going to go quickly through these, but they're doing them every single day of the entire unit that you're working on addition. And so they are memorizing all of these facts, right? Because they're doing them every single day. You can also count on a student and have a student repeat them, however you want to do it. Now, in here, I have also like the subtraction families. So we do those during the subtraction unit. I have our shapes. So during the shape unit, I would pull out our shape charts, and we would say, let's go, let's do our shapes. Today we're going to talk about, and they would say trapezoid. Trapezoid has how many sides? 4 sides. Very good. 1 long, one short, 2 the same. Triangle. Triangle has how many sides? 3. I'm trying to kind of do it with you, even though I don't have any students here doing it with me. I'm saying what the student would say as well. But you would go through your shapes every single day of that unit so that they are practicing them. And the more your brain does something, the more it remembers it. So it kind of becomes stuck like glue inside their little brains, and they remember the shapes. Same thing when you're going to do coins. You would go through your coins every single day. A penny is worth 1 cent. Abraham Lincoln is on the penny. So, for example, then you would go to your nickels. Okay, students, let's go. This is a nickel. And they would say, nickel. And you would say, a nickel is worth, they would say, 5 cents. Okay, repeat after me. A nickel is worth 5 cents. And they would say it again. A nickel is worth 5 cents. Thomas Jefferson is on the nickel. And they would say, Thomas Jefferson is on the nickel. So, doing these every single day, they're not going to forget who's on the penny, who's on the nickel, and how much they're worth, right? Because they're going to be seeing the poster every day. They're going to be saying it every day. So we do that kind of thing all the time. Now, the other thing that we do, which I think most teachers do when they're teaching young children, or most math teachers, I should say, do when they're teaching young children, is they do the 100 chart, right? Everybody has a 100 chart. Now, this is the 100 chart that is in my Early Learners Math curriculum, but I also have a 100 chart on our wall in my little homeschool classroom, and we use that a lot too. The reason I like this one is because this one I have each of the families separated by color. So here you can see the teen, well, the 1 to 10 is blue, and then you see the teen family is green, and then the 20 family is red, and then the 30 family is yellow, and so on. I tried to separate them by color, okay? And then we do counting, of course. So even with my older students, say my first graders, we still will count to 100. So every day we'll say, ready, set, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 family, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 family, 31, 32, 33. Whew, you get the idea. And we'll count all the way to 100 every day, and everybody does it out loud. Then we do lots of fun math games with our 100 chart. So I might say, find the number that is 5 plus 3. And then you'd have somebody come point to 8. So you can do addition. Find the number that has 3 10s and 2 1s. So somebody would find a number 32. Find the number that is the greatest on the entire chart. Somebody would find number 100. Find the number that is less than 14 but greater than, or find a number that is less than 14 but greater than 12. So they would find the number 13. All right, so you can do, I mean, you could do all sorts of activities with this 100 chart. I'm just scratching the surface. Those are some of the things that just came to mind right now as I'm doing this video. But just think about what you're working on. If you're working on addition, if you're working on subtraction, if you're working on multiplication, if you could throw out a multiplication problem and have them find the answer. You could greater than, less than, just place value. Find the number that has 8 10s and 6 1s. It's 86. Just think about fun ways you can use the different numbers on here. Oh, you can skip count. That's another thing. I have a video on my channel all about using the 100 chart for skip counting. Or actually, it's all about teaching skip counting. I did that video a long time ago, years and years ago. But in that video, I have a 100 chart, and I kind of talk about how you can use it to for skip counting. And yeah, it's great having the 100 chart there, and then you can count by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. You can use manipulatives to mark the skip counting numbers. Just, yeah, lots and lots of ways you can use a 100 chart for warm-ups in math. All right, so there you go. That is kind of the gist of how I do math warm-ups. Oh, one other thing that we do. Let me move this. Okay, then one other thing we do sometimes when we are warming up is we'll do one page from our Learn Math Level Proficiency for the day. So we'll do it together. Most of them it'll take me about a minute to do the page, okay? And what your students need is a dry erase marker. All right, so what we do is we'll do it together. So let's take a look at this page. It says say the number, so my students will say the number. 88, 18, 81, 86, 108, 118. If all of my students that I'm working with say it correctly, we'll color in the star and we'll move to the next box. It says color in the box with the greatest number. So I'll have my students look here, and someone will hopefully tell me what the greatest number is, and I'll let them circle it in. And then this next box is working on addition, so it says add, color the box with the number. So we'll look at these little bugs here, count the dots on the bugs, and we'll find our answer. And then here we're practicing writing the time. So that way they're getting a warm-up of some place value skills, addition, and telling time all on one page. We'll do that one page for the day, and then we'll move on to our lesson. Or here's another example of a page. So again, we're doing some place value. We're saying the name. Here we're doing, this day we would be doing some comparing numbers, some addition again, and here we're doing graphing. So we're talking about data on that day. So every day it gives them just a couple of different skill sets to be working on. Even though we may be doing a unit on fractions, and this doesn't have anything to do with fractions, but it's still keeping their mind on other mathematical skills that they need to be successful, right? And they need to keep their mind going on more than just whatever our unit is on, right? So we definitely use this. I'll leave a link below to my Learn Math Level Proficiency. There's 2 levels. There's level 1, level 2, or level A and B, I guess. Okay guys, before this video is over, I wanted to share with you a new activity that I uploaded to my website. I actually have a lot of new things that I have created recently, and I am super excited about it. I've been creating because it's the beginning of the school year, and I'm excited to have some new things for my students to do. But also, I just plan on keeping more up with it, hopefully throughout the school year. So this activity comes from that curriculum bundle that I told you I'm working on. I'm actually working on a couple different curriculum bundles, one for first grade, one for spelling and sight words, and then this one is math one that is geared for pre-K and kindergarten. It's called Math Fun for pre-K and kindergarten. And this is the first activity that I added to that curriculum bundle, and it's called Missing Numbers. So I wanted to show you it really quickly. And in this activity, there are these cute little missing number strips. Now, I don't know about you, but when I start out the school year, a lot of times I like to work on number value, or I like to work on place value, I guess is the right term for it. So I can see where my students are at and how they're thinking, right? And so for this activity, that's exactly what it does. It works on place value. Okay, so the students take a card, and what they're going to do is they're going to use a dry erase marker to write their answer in. And it says 39, 40, 41, something is missing, and then 43. Well, they have to know that the missing number is 42. If your students are having trouble figuring out what that missing number is, you could have them look at their 100 chart and figure it out that way. This is a movable 100 chart. So the fun part about this one is that they don't actually have to write the number. They could just find the number on their 100 chart. But anyways, what you want them to do is look for the first number. So here's 39. So on my 100 chart, I'm going to look for 39, and then they're going to count 39, 40, 41, 42. So my missing number is 42. They could take the piece out and put it on their balloon like that. Or if you don't have a movable 100 chart, they could, of course, use their dry erase marker, write 42 in the balloon. And then the second step is they're not only finding that missing number, but they're going to build that missing number. So again, we're going to use these wonderful blocks here. And by the way, if you don't have snap cubes, I will leave a link below in this video to where you can get this set of snap cubes for a discount. these snap cubes are made by Joycat, and they're on Amazon, and I have a discount link that they gave me for all of my viewers, and you guys can check that out. But what the students do is they use their blocks here to build the number 42. So they're going to build that missing number. So I'm going to build 10, 20, 30, 40, and then I need 2 more. So I'm going to build the number 42. And I actually already tried this activity with my students here this summer, over the summer. I like to continue to have my kids doing some fun things over the summer. And if I'm working on new activities, sometimes I just try them out on my kids to see if they like them, because you know, sometimes I create activities and I think they're gonna love them, and they might not, but usually they do, and they did enjoy this activity. So I might put a little video in here where you can see my kids working on this. I think my little guy with Down syndrome was working on this, and he had a lot of fun. But yeah, so they would build it with their blocks, and then if they did that correctly, then they would go on, take another card, and start over. This one we did already, so I'm going to erase the answer, but they would have to find that missing number. Now, sometimes the missing numbers are in different spots. So like in this card, the missing number is the first number, okay? So they're in different places. This one we did, you can see, so I'd have to erase that. But yeah, this is a fun activity. I'll leave links below to everything. Thank you so much for watching this video, you guys. I am so happy that you came along with me to share some math warm-ups with you. And I also ask that if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. Hit the notification bell so that you get notified when I make a new video. And as always, happy learning. Bye.